Hey guys, what is going on? Mihu is obviously the latest addition to VP, and a standout performance against FaZe at the V4 Hungarian tournament that recently went on, which included FaZe, VP, teams like Mouse Sports. But I want to pick Cash, have a look at what he does here, because, well, Cash is a map that FaZe are very good on, and he seems to just pick them apart in this one. There's a nice little nade. He has a few cheeky ideas with grenades that I like to see, a few fresh ones. That's just a lineup if you want to throw a nade at the beginning of a round. And I just like things about him is he's so aggressive. I mean, you look at that there, he's not really even positioning himself in the barrels at a tactical position. He just stands in the open. Obviously, he's versing Glocks in this one, so he's very confident. This is a bit of a theme. He's a very confident player, always getting a lot of information for VP. And almost reminds me of Apex a little bit. Not entirely, but if you've seen my Cash breakdown for Apex, you might get a little idea of what I mean. So on the CT side, Mihu's this very mobile player. He plays around the highway area, often moving towards mid and the A site. But this is just a clip here to show how aggressive and confident this guy is. So initially a bit of mid control comes in. They could have boosted up as they are FaZe here. And Mihu wants to make sure they haven't boosted up while this smoke's been going on. And you'll see he's very aggressive about it. He's just peeking all the time, trying to get some information. Again, not a care in the world. Like, that's a very wide peek. Wants to make sure everything's cleared out. And right now this is very interesting for me. Is look at this right now. He's just thrown one flash and he's pushing all the way up here. Look at Pasha's point of view. He's not really even holding the mid garage area. It's not smoked off. If a player does peek out mid garage, he's going to see Mihu before he sees Pasha. So there's no help from that point of view. So this is a very random play, and one where you could potentially get your team caught off guard. But you can see he clears out all this information. He does get caught off guard. This is just to help you guys get the idea of what kind of player this guy is. He's very confident, kind of like that X factor in a round where he can either just go off and get 4 kills, or he kind of can give the round away and possibly put your team at a disadvantage. Virtus.pro have often had this very aggressive, almost brute force style of CS, which is part of why they are such fan favourites, a very entertaining style to watch. And Mihu almost takes this to another level. Whether this is a good or bad thing for VP, we'll probably have to work it over a little bit more time. But you can see here, there's no setup flashes from teammates. Often you see a flash come in from a teammate sitting around the red box area, or a Molotov in just to clear out behind the box here. But no, none of this. Mihu and byali just walk in here. A very, very standard underarm flash is something you'd maybe expect to see in your matchmaking games, and they just have full control right now. The nade comes in, the smoke comes in. This is how they've taken A main control. One very simple flash, and this is very effective if it works. I mean, you've used one flash, you've taken mid. If they're playing very passive on it, you've taken a lot of map control away from them. But the bad part of this is it can be countered, and if the flash doesn't hit them or they have a couple of players in A main, you can go down. And this is a risk that Virtus.pro take, and this is just a style of how they play. So continuing through this round, we'll see Mihu again. He's very confident with his peaks. Mid presence comes in from FaZe ladder in this one. I'll keep it going forward, but you see, they end up getting trapped on site. This is a very interesting take if you're looking for some strats for your team. Smoke's down here, and if you want to go for some kind of mid-A split, this is a very good way to do so. You can see Olofmeister and Rain had this nice canal up here, and Karrigan and Nico come out like this. So it's a very good split, and these are some good smokes to throw. So if you're looking for a strategy, that's just a side note for you, for your team. Maybe try that one out, one that I haven't actually seen that much, since the standard smoke seems to be the one people always go with. And Mihu now, obviously he can't get trapped on the site. He knows he's going to could potentially get pushed off. What I almost admire about this guy is you're versing FaZe Clan, and you can't be scared, obviously, versing anyone, otherwise you've already lost the game. But he has a flash, teammates have flashes, none of this happens. He just straight, see a Rain, Olofmeister, not expecting some kind of peek like that without a flash. And you can see, he almost single-handedly just shuts this round down. Again, if he just gets peeks off by Rain right there, continues to peek, it could go very bad for VP, but in this one he locks the round down, and basically without those couple of kills, they could very easily have been pincered onto on the site. So most of Mihu's highlights come on the T side, where he can show off his aggression. There's something I found particularly interesting was this grenade right here, and you might be thinking, hang on, there's no one going to be there, he knows this. Look at what byali's doing right now. They've thrown a grenade to cover up the sound of the door opening. And I'm not sure how effective this would be. Both the players continue to push through. It's an interesting strategy. I mean, most teams will probably work out straight away after a couple of rounds, that's a weird nade, why they're throwing a nade there so early. And they'll probably work out the doors being opening, but this is the first time I've seen this used probably ever. So if you can use it for a couple of rounds and get away with it, go ahead. If someone hasn't seen this, it'll probably work very well. You can see as this round develops, the flank becomes very important. Obviously, Olofmeister ends up being in a 1v2, but he's never going to expect 2 players here in the B main area. And the round's able to get shut down, and they win the 2v0. So that's just an interesting idea. You can maybe try it using a nade to cover up the sound of the door opening. Something interesting you could try on other maps if you're one of those rare people who play Nuke. Maybe even try it out there. So now the T side, as I already said, this seems to be where he's let obviously you can either make a huge play, go for 4 kills, or he'll basically do nothing. He seems to be an all or nothing kind of player. He goes for huge plays that can potentially open up rounds. mean, entries like this, which is things we'll see Apex do from time to time. Again, if you look at that Cash video, he does stuff like this. It's just walking out between smokes, hoping no one's going to be looking his way. And you can see in this one, he opens up the round potentially. Unfortunately for him, Olofmeister does find Pasha and he can't get the second kill. You can see he just plays like that. And I mean, he causes disarray. I mean, look at this. A Guardian's been around the highway area, keeping it under lockdown. But NiKo's not satisfied. You can see he wants to know. Forklift or mid? And he's causing confusion among the FaZe camp. What I love about this guy is he just doesn't answer. Ignored. NiKo, unlucky mate. You're never going to know unless you watch this, then you'll know. So continuing with the theme of all or nothing plays, this round is very interesting to me. It's almost an extreme example of everything you can do. So it just starts off here, obviously very passive, just making sure someone doesn't push into A main. Again, this is where their flashbang tactic we saw earlier would potentially be very effective. You'll see here, he's going to come back out and get boosted and almost be the lurker in this B hit that's going to come through. So we'll just fast forward this a little bit. Take's going to come out. Again, very confident in his peaks. Look right now, there's not really any flashes for him. A couple of Molotovs do help him out just to clear this. But no flashes or anything. He's already up here before the Molotovs, very confident in his peaks. But he's just going to get up here at the white box area. Very confident lurking, or very common lurking area, sorry. And he's very good at cutting off rotations in this situation. Obviously, your team, 3 players going towards the B site. You can see in this one, Rain is coming back. But if you hit the B site, trust your players to get in. If you can cut off the rotations, make sure no one comes vent or potentially come back and make sure this kind of area isn't being flanked onto, it can make the after plant very useful for your team. You can also try and cut off players just by looking up highway and getting one or two kills as well. MiHu, though, takes this to the next level again. He wants to go for a huge flank. Something, again, we've seen Apex do. I think in my previous video I outlined it, pushing through Z connector. So right now he sees no one highway as the push comes through. Again, he might be thinking they've already rotated off. But just holding this area isn't enough for him. He's just going to walk up here. And again, unlucky with the timing on Olofmeister. I would have personally, I presumed he just holds this area. Obviously, VP are in trouble in this take. But just look at this one going forward. He's going to fight everyone. And he's going to have the confidence to peek all these FaZe players and win all these fights. Even in an extreme example where the timer's run out. So you already have no money into the next round and you're in 12 HP. So there's a great shot to NiKo. Another good spray control onto Karrigan. So you can see this guy has skill. He has potential. He seems like a little bit of a loose cannon right now. But he can definitely be trained and definitely a very good talent. You can see right now, I mean, what's that? He has 12 HP and he's jumping off the heaven area where he's most likely to be safe to potentially take a fight with the player and takes the gun away from the CTs. 12 HP, no money into the next round. This guy doesn't care. Honestly, that's very entertaining. I love it. And not something I'd actually recommend, but something very entertaining. And this is just how this guy plays. Very aggressive and he goes for huge all-out plays. When I say this guy's a loose cannon, it's not necessarily a negative thing. Some teams do need it. They need this random factor, players who are prepared to take fight in different scenarios. VP might not be one of the teams that need a player like this, but it's definitely not always a bad thing. And we say it all the time, obviously you'll see random players in your matchmaking, but even in team elements, it can be good to have this random factor. You don't want to be too predictable, you just want to play smart. And we can see in this one, MiHu does combine this very aggressive playstyle with some intelligence, some nade utility, and he can kind of read, especially this first kill onto Guardian, how things are going to go down. So right now, this is when you need a player who's prepared to do something. When you're in a 2v3 after plan on Cash, you don't have a whole lot of control, both your players are on the site, he's got to make a play somewhere. And you can see he does it with a Molotov right now. He knows Guardian's towards the truck area, and he knows there's a chance he's going to peek out. So he uses that Molotov to flush Guardian out. Guardian, obviously a confident AWPer, he's going to want to take fight sometime, going to trust himself. But MiHu knows there's a chance he's going to push out rather than fall back. And that's exactly what Guardian does. So he uses this Molotov to push Guardian out maybe earlier than he would do. Definitely earlier than he would do, considering NiKo's and Rain's positioning. He's probably going to prefer to play a little bit passive till they can get into an area they can fight. But he does this turn it into a 2v2. But he's not done there. While this Molotov's still up, he's going to use it to get himself in an even more aggressive position. And you see the confidence in this guy. The Molotov's even burnt out right now, but he's committed to this play. And again, a very aggressive play, almost a little bit random, but you can see he's going to shut this down. Rain's not expecting to play there at all. And this is what I'm talking about with this random element. It can be very useful in certain rounds. If you can get it right with some timings, you can see again, he's used the Molotov to move all the way through and get these 2 kills. And then Pasha's able to, while this has all been cleared out by MiHu, Pasha's got the luxury of being able to look onto A main, gets the timing perfect onto NiKo. So you can see some good utility usage, understanding how the Molotov's going to let the players react, and really turning that potentially 3v2 situation, a loss in the afterplan, into actually quite an easy win in the end. Now finally, around 29 from Virtus Pro, 14-14 at this stage. They call quite a ballsy play. You can see the smoke comes over. It's going to be a bit of a hit onto both the smokes, so the smoke towards the quad and one towards, what do you call this, the forklift area. So it's going to be an interesting take. There's going to be little information from the CT side, and you can see the molly comes out, again removing information from Nico. He has to move away. So you can see what they've done in this round VPs. They've taken all the information around from where the CTs don't really know what's going to happen, and they almost make this look like it's a fake without it being a fake. So there's been a couple of mollies thrown, I think 3 smokes. So you can think maybe there was a player outside A and he's rotated very quickly to try and go for some mid control or towards B or something. And you can see the player's just going to come through. It's a very slow walk through the site, and this is very interesting to me. No footsteps thrown, and another Molotov. That's probably the 3rd one there, but it does come from this area. Snacks making noise in, what do you call that? I keep forgetting, in the door area, in the squeaky door area. While Mihu walks up, so it could be the sound indication right now, as no one's really running across site trying to get in fast. Obviously, after these takes, often teams trying to explode onto the site with some flashes. No flashes thrown or anything. It's a very silent walk, and you can see peek's going to come over the box from Neo, and it's a nice double peek even with it. It's a very ballsy play. Again, very like Mihu, very like Virtus Pro. You can see there, nice flash to get himself off the angle, forcing Karrigan away for the meantime. Again, still looking for fights. This is where things get interesting for me. Is it's a 4v3, you have a man advantage, you have the A on lockdown. This is where a player can either open up the round. I would personally prefer you just chill in this scenario. Mihu, not this type of player. That's what I'm trying to show you. Even in a 3v3 now, you don't really need to be taking fights. This guy's, I don't know why he wants to get into A main. Rain takes him out. Is information for his team, and luckily then Pash is able to go huge and finish with this one off. Well, maybe Neo's going to finish it off. Excuse me. But yeah, guys. What was that? I didn't know that happened. Well, that's an interesting thing to end the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already.